never seen. London, the year 2022. Friday, 11th of November. So, well, it's been very nice to see the drops from the young men of Russia turning back, and the words of, I don't know, I confuse with Monica Lewinsky, but the president of Ukraine, who just got an Oscar. Incredible. Unbelievable. Well, that's what humans do together, right? We honor each other. I has to return to Hollywood to return that award because he's invited for that to keep the story rolling. I mean, I will keep it. I will keep it. I will keep the Oscar award. Never go to visit anyone really. Well, I'm more of a New Yorker who doesn't like LA too much. I think it's okay now that people can start to be a little more real. And maybe it's not the LA of before, but well, one has to respect all the creatures of this world. This beautiful biodiversity that we have is incredible. So, talking about sports, uh, been role playing for 19 years, immersed in character storytelling. I've studied script writing. My father had a school of cinema, and I studied in New York as well for script writing. Um After seeing that it's a very, very difficult career to make a movie, because everybody wants to make movies, of course. Um, it's not like if you pick the career of nurse, nobody wants to be a nurse, statistically speaking. I mean, I don't know in Norway, but so I have not been really in multimedia. I create a website for techmyself.org to help people get. I knew I had to when studying cinema and before when I was in India. I always say this, and I would like to say it again and again, that I wanted to. I believe that there was a stage to bring a person is more important than a movie, to level a person up, and it can enjoy its own movie through internet. Even though when I was 17 in India, and also my master of meditation died, there was a great energy in the air, and there were the older people talking about what was gonna happen in internet. So I thanks my mother that surrounded me with these beautiful people, and she gave away her economical system, and just gave up everything to go to India, and it saved my life. Yeah, because even I was very popular in my class. I found they were shallow. Like there was no real truth, no real. It was all a facade. Going to the school of the king of Spain now, who is now, they just care for their appearance. To everything is invested on the, and that is beautiful too. To take care of oneself, to make oneself beautiful, and invest in yourself all the time. So live from the dead people because they are more important. This is all very important. Um, of course, if you have to put in a balance, what is more important, if people or make more money? Or what if you can do both? Yeah? What if other people can do also both? And we can share this earth. So this has been always an input for me, and everyone has their own theme in real life. So in real life, that is my only, I don't care about anyone. I don't care about having friends. I don't care about who is who or how much you got or how many people follow you. I'm only interested in protecting the wilderness of imagination through the role play of virtual reality, which is created through our imagination and anything that composes ourselves through ideas, and also metaphysical world which can be experienced, and how we behave in real life with the human interaction that we create and harness to our life. That's all I care. So I have invested my life in all this work. There is much more ahead. So I wanted to talk about the sports this week, and that's which is within. I don't know if somebody realizes when they are having an inner conversation and there's a duality and they turn from one side to the other of the bed. Yeah, that's one of my many discoveries. uh, have sleep a lot, so I know it's a proven theory. You can prove it yourself if you want. So when you're in your bed before sleeping or after, and you turn sides and you changing the opposite side of what you're thinking. So there's like an inner dialogue. It's a sport. It is a sport. When you see role play as a sport or a religion, um, and you can get to breathe out through everything that you create. And of course, a role player is always getting ready for everyone's story. Everything has stopped in role play now because these moments are very important. I have sent letter to the embassy of China, to the Department of Science and Technology. So they might be hacking me right now. What they called before cyberverse. Of course, now they call it multimedia, multi-universe, right? Very good, very good. Everyone is learning, but no one is paying attention. Like no one is paying. No one is coming to me and saying, "Hey, hello. You can call me Patricia. If it's for work and business, my family and friends call me Sujani." All right. So what it means is my spiritual name, and only my best friends and family call me Sujani. It's a soft, sweet name. Um, whatever side you want to go, if you want to go into the spiritual side, but I don't mix too much. So you're just what you are is what I am, what I am. Yes. What you want to learn, what you want to achieve, you want to win, you want to get all your friends, you already have all your friends on your side. It's quite difficult to understand how complex is this world when you really get out of your boundaries. So as every sport, there are boundaries. There are boundaries. We have not just the frame of time, which each time frame is for each year an epoch. Yeah. We also have the lowest spiritual form from all the religions, which are the hells and the heavens. and from the heavenly earth, woo, there, which Elon Musk is creating a bridge towards the heavens, there is the celestial planets, right? Because the gods don't live really here in Olympus. That's what people think. There is more than just enlightenment. There is more just the one consciousness that you can just breathe it all in with you and feel the responsibility of what you are talking about and doing. So when I put myself on psycho mode, it's because I am going to, for example, protect the royal family, whatever. I love the royals. I went to the school of the King of Spain. Whatever they do or not, I will always protect. It's not something personal because I like the queen or the king or the sort of that. I choose the entity of the royalty itself. Um, it is something that I know before I was born, so it can't take that away from me. And when it was to defend the royals, when Meghan Markle spoke with Oprah, the Americans were very bitter with the British. Why? That's why they're American. So all the Americans were attacking why they're Americans, the land of the free, because that was America versus. So the British people are not people who attack on anyone. They're truly gentlemen and ladies. So I had to quickly analyze how could I get everyone on board, and I had to use the pattern of what every British person or from United Kingdom would be gentle and more of showing respect towards their habitat. Black people were attacking, so I had to create a lot of dialogue. All the dialogues that went successfully, repeated by millions of streams, were because they made sense. There were no insults there at all. There were no insults there at all. But that's the mind of a person who cares and protects what it loves without having to destroy anyone. Now the other people, do other things. That's their own. That's their own. That is their own. Yeah, that is their own. So I am always immersed in what I've been doing. Thanks to being alone, being alone consciously, I told I have to be alone. I'm not right now. I cannot be with my problems, sharing it with anyone. I mean, if I had a wife, because they're more understanding, yeah. But I don't like women, so that's another problem. That's one problem. That's interesting is good enough. So if you have the boundaries, yeah, because what happens with each boundary? There is a story there, and there is a sequence. I'm not going to talk more because people have to come to me and really honor the way. Don't be afraid. I don't belong to anyone, and I'm not going to be against anyone if I go to someone because eventually everyone has to get together on this. And it cannot be that Mark Zuckerberg is like the owner of the metaverse. That was not made for that. And he's not the voice of the metaverse either. Um, he's he has invested on what he did, which is not enough. for all the world. Yes. So this is when everybody can get together, really, when we solve this problem. Yeah. So if you want to insult people, I recommend to create monsters, villains, and it can become very artistically beautiful because you're looking for music that you're gonna put as a soundtrack. Mm. There are code generators for that. Music from YouTube. Normally, one doesn't pick anyone singing, so it's just the sound. And you can also put it on a loop. You can research for music that people make by just emotions or actions, words, many words, and tag it, and you get this. People are creating a beautiful, beautiful portal of creation on internet, and this is what the multiverse is. The metaverse. I drew the eight to Bill Gates, and he knows it, and I'm waiting for people to just get together and get to translate this and pay my part. Um, One of my characters, when I send it to Bill Gates, a secret agent, there's a character that I made her Catholic, Apostolic, Roman Catholic Apostolic. And she's very funny because she works for government, but and she's very sweet and that, but she's like very religious. She's very religious, and she's just kind of like, it's funny because what the thing that this character has to go through, and is inspired on a character of Marvel comics from Shield that are like spies. What the thing that they have to go through, I don't think it's all glamorous, right? Like, or jolly action, cool. No, it's like um then you see this because if she doesn't has this strong belief in God, she wouldn't be able to go through everything she's going through. And this makes you smile inside, because no matter how bad things are going, and or things seem to be, because it's not what people say. Some people play the game of sports of what people think of you, what you think of others to ruin others. So yeah, for example, Putin is not a bad person, or Donald Trump. No, they're really good people. But women are horrible. Women are psychopaths, sociopaths. And speaking with so much hatred is a show of intolerance. Is not the way a gentleman should behave when he's talking about the world at large. So I know that when computer engineers, scientists, psychiatrists meet, not psychologists. Psychologists just study 5 years and they do not have the boundaries of understanding the complexity of the human body and the consequences that can carry from one side to another. It's not just in the mind because this and that and that and that. The psychologist always wants to convince you what's better for you. Even if they study and know that you cannot tell people what to do or what is better, they always corrupt that. And this is why I don't like psychologists. I can admire and listen, but if I go for something that is technical with my body and my mind, emotions as well, I trust more in the psychiatry that has to do a lot with character traits. Yeah. If I have to pose all the angles of a conversation, I will give myself. I know people are going to judge me. I'm not that close minded to think that people are not going to judge me. But you got to do what you got to do. I have to do my deal, and this is the deal. The the people from China are welcome. The people from Russia are welcome. I don't know why Biden is talking bad about also others, because that's also damaging yourself. Biden has done a great work, and he could pull this off if he wants. But he has to recognize that he has to clean pork all the pedophiles. Yeah, you have to. Anyone who's been a pedophile has to stop that anger, stop acting, stop pretending that you know better, stop. Because it is always the woman who will try to defend children. If you see that normally, and these are the women they put in a madhouse in the old times. These are the women that would, yeah, it's not useful. So you cannot abuse that woman. You cannot use that woman. Yeah, it's not useful. It's useless. So you discard that woman. You want to destroy that. So unconsciously, everyone in this world that has been abused, because there's a lot of abuse. 80% is carrying abuse. So it's very important for the mind to learn how to use the settings. Everything is in the settings. I mean, I would love to have a partner to work and relate everything, but this is nothing. What I sent to Bill Gates was something, and he will be honored from the other side. It will be interesting to have a conversation where the world can get to learn without having to go bitter on it. Because if you are listening to me, you have to clean yourself, because you will have to deal with more people that are like you, because that's why you do what you do. Yeah. Parents who are too disciplined can create with children severe depression, because they're cutting and castrating the roots of joy, that pleasurable playfulness. So it's not about being the cool kid, but it's just something so innate in all of us to, and we have to give this to our children. We have to give this to ourselves, to our teenagers, to our youth who are still lingering their loss. They need to do parties, events. So the tech, the problem with the government is that it's afraid to lose power with the tech giants. And there is a problem also with the crypto money currency. So this conversation, I mean, I wish I had a secretary um, to write down from the communist ideologies or extreme socialists to what we are living right now, which is can be called capitalism because it's moving towards green energy, right? So it's a big conversion there. You have to really believe that God exists to do this because it's going to be a fraud, a fraud. You're going to start to believe that you don't believe in God enough. That's why everything is going wrong. Well, everything is on chaos. You know very well the problems of the government with the trying to sabotage everyone so they can keep on power. But that's the best way they know, right? Of course, there is a problem with people managing other people's energy, taking over lands, taking over is a lot of work without common sense where it's just pocketing money and not creating enough jobs. People will still work if they have money. Working is healthy. I have seen people work that they do it for love. I have worked in the kitchen in India. And all the frivolous friends of my mother, oh, are you gonna let your daughter work in the kitchen? And my mother, who had more money than them, and I look at my mother like she had more heart than them. My mother was for me, compared to them, a noble person. She said, "Yeah, I mean, she's so good. Ah, she can do whatever she wants. I trust in her." Um, that's what keeps you human. To keep in connection with humanity. So for each universe, each character has to be unique. I had a person harassing me for 6 years, a young woman with border personality. I don't go very well with people who have border personality because I'm not good manipulated with emotions. I'm like, one plus one is two. What is it that you want? Like, why are you doing this, right? But they are very good for serving people that think that's more important. For example, sharing everything they do and always being like a servant around, right? So it's very common to see that behavior, and that's how people work together when they're man and woman. So the woman harasses the man, but they will do everything for them. This is in role play, and I explain this pattern because it repeats. It repeats over and over again, and then they become in the jail of the woman. And how can you do this if these are fictional characters? There is a moment where so much art and expression and reason that you go beyond that, and there is always love, even if there is rage. There is always a light of creation that keeps you in touch. So so in we had too many hackers, broken sites. People get very, like, people fighting on for whatever they want to fight for to win whatever. So it's very good what Elon Musk is doing to note who is who, because it's one of the big dangers of that I because right now I'm starting to observe how the real world is on internet. As I had to come out to sell the rules of role playing to virtual reality and the program of how it works, which is very beautiful. And from 2022 on this time of the year, after it was sent, I stopped role playing because I knew they were going to start to look into the website, and I told everyone to stop doing what we do, just one on one, because they have lifted, but I have seen the pattern when storylines work and how is the so well. So in these last 2 years, I have seen how people really get to, like, wow, my god, like, because the people in real life don't enjoy the imagination that we share and the beauty of the arts and the chemistry, the way we talk to each other through stories, which are more sophisticated. And even a person that can come, but their words are true, it touches you, even if it's just you can make big stories with those little words. Virtual reality is not going to be a video game. As we are advancing, any person playing video games is going to be considered, because as you procreate a generation that is coding and is recreating its own virtual reality, you're gonna have composers. You are gonna have people who are enhancing their intelligence, not just following buttons and seeing what to press because it's already been pre-made. So your activity has to create program in advance and have sometimes different modes where sometimes you're in action, sometimes you are doing research and getting to study this and that, and even the color of the sand. It's not just going there and going ping, doing things. There is a true art, what we've been living. And people have to role play their own parts of humanity to understand humanity instead of going out in the real life going crazy on people. Yeah, discriminating because they're fat or because a poor woman has changed her sex, an actor. People have their opinions, but they're nasty. They are That's how people want to create more, more viewers. But this is not why I was following someone on a first stage. So this is why I have these scissors next to my mouse. Yeah, this mouse, this mouse. It's very important to note that nothing lasts forever. It's just cut it off because you have to create boundaries. That's where your psychosis ends with this action. And not only in the beginning, also in the end. Yeah, what formed that? Yeah, and then you put, or if you cannot put it now, you put it later, that information, and let it digest. But if you're gonna talk outside, out in the world, then you have to respect every human being. Children, yes, children, but it has to be very specific. Children, it should legal. It should be legal that they cannot be changing their sex unless they were born with the body that is. But still, I don't think God is supernatural, but all the people that we have believing in God and carrying the cross and serving humanity are Catholic, Apostolic. And I have seen many beautiful people in Canada and Victoria working for the church, volunteering as well. Beautiful. Trying to do good in a world that it needs also limitations. You cannot be feeding drug addicts. They need to go 3 years on a spiritual retreat by law, kind of a jail. So the drug is out of the system. So we have our own problems in the free world. But if we don't believe in a higher source that unites us, and this is our history, we share from Europe to North America to South America and some parts of Africa, and we can enjoy other cultures and be cultured. Some people need to have fun and just they go online and just talk bad about just one person. I'm sorry for Meghan Markle. I've never really talked bad about her, but I'm sorry that she thought she was marrying someone that it was about her. She was not aware that she was marrying someone who was paying service to the people. She thought it was about her. She had no comprehension of the magnitude. For example, not just the person he was marrying, but the entire family, what Harry represents. So he is committing suicide, because he was a free man or boy, and everyone loved him regardless. The thing is, I knew this was gonna come a lot of anger against the colony and royalty, and I know there are problems. There are problems, but this has nothing to do with. I mean, I love King Charles. I don't care what people say or if they throw him an egg. He still looks elegant, and maybe he can be for me as another person. I don't see him superior than any person. but I do see him superior in the sense that I love him, Camilla. She stands there all jolly and just look at the egg. But these are symbols that we share that are a common love. Like so, many people love Jordan Peterson. So if you're going to insult Jordan Peterson, you are going to have to deal with all the people that love Jordan Peterson, not just him. Yeah. So Jordan Peterson was made alone by himself. So that's another gravity to it. It's kind of like everything is so unique. Everything is so beautiful. Even if it's created or fake, they give all their best to be that. And sometimes before being born as well, you never know how much it takes or what story you got to bring them there. Not all come from the same story. Yeah. Um, there are many souls around for it as well. Of awareness, called awareness. I wouldn't say souls, but there is something out there. So my father would do a lot of scandals as a journalist in politics. Um, he was his movies was also to bring some enlightenment to society, and he loved society. But at the end, was society who killed him. So we have to be aware of not dying as a martyr, because that's what heroes do. There is no need to to talk bad about when you are in such a position of power. You cannot talk bad about Republicans or Democrats. That's in the hands already. But we are entering another dimension where we're seeing the big titans, like the president of America talking to Elon Musk, and Elon Musk back. Yeah. So of course Elon Musk had to pay taxes and get grounded, right? Grounding. And Biden has done that marvelous. He's been from all the characters from around the world. I don't understand. They judge him for his that he forgets. I forget. I forget a lot of things, but it's because my mind is right. So I forget other things. I'm not paying interest in other things. It's not so important. In my mind, it's maybe more important this. Maybe it's not important for other people, but this is my life. This is what I do. I'm not hurting anyone. So if I have to hurt someone, it's for a good reason. So it works better. But that's only the ego that is hurting. I am so privileged to listen to Bishop Barron because normally I go from church to church to just to see if I because I need to like the speech of the priest. And I have been in many churches, also evangelists of gospel, all sorts. In New York, I love one in the I forgot the name of the streets, but it was not the Upper East Side, but it was Middle East Anglican. Beautiful, beautiful discourse. And I always needed that to feel. It is very hurting to see the most like right now they have. You want to make money, invest on people creating money, tech giants, and create a route where the credit goes back. You're creating, giving these sources to create these sources. Mansions into villages is one of the most beautiful resources to create. But if it's like one country that is richer and the people that can invest on it from their own work and money as well, I can do that. So, what is it? I was trying to do that, but it is not as easy. I cannot do that in Venezuela because they think I am from the colony. That's how they killed my father. The people that he was helping. And people are like that. You you want to help them and they want to kill you. It's like a murderer. We all come from stories because it's just now from the 80s, the people have stopped killing. But we all have ancestors that have been murdered. So we all have that genetic code inside of murdering feeling. I'm aware of it because I have my father who was murdered and I have meditated a lot in it and I have created character of death and in honor to him to get closer to him. But at the same time, there is nothing there. So life is more fruitful when we cherish every little thing. It does become damaging when everything that we do is broken and destroyed. One needs to be protected. So you do not know what a person can endure and persist through so many tribulations that are still being part. 'Cause if you ask a person, do I want my people to die in this war, no matter how much you love your country, you will say, no, I don't want my people to die. In Venezuela, you was ask the president, do you want your people to go walking to all the way through Central America, to cross through Mexico, be treated like immigrants? All these things are terrible just because Biden wants votes from Spanish people, Latin American people. Um, all this system of voting is going to end. People are going to vote according to their knowledge of who they're voting, and people are going to see in the program who is working for what, not because they like immigrants or not. When we create a passage of people coming and going just for studies, just to studies to learn, and also people from the first world country, because here is very boring, there is nothing much to do by your own. Yeah, but it's all predictable. Where everything is predictable is meant to be depression. So unless you are always celebrating, yeah. So when you have money, you need to celebrate constantly. So that recreates a refreshment to think better because there are heavy, very heavy responsibilities because you're in charge of many people. And that is a sport in one's brain before you hit goal. So it's in the practice, this formula didn't come from Mark Zuckerberg or Bill Gates. This formula came from 19 years of work here and many tests. People say there are no tests. They are, but nobody's coming to me. Until someone comes to me, this is going to keep going down, and everyone is going to lose their faith because everyone is attacking everyone. So, what happens with video games is good for the motor in the brain, like driving. I drive very fast in my bicycle. And in video games, I say, well, it's very easy to win. It's just press very quickly. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you jump or you this or kick or with your feet or the or you punch. You will win if you press very quickly. That's how you win. So it's not very creative or intelligent. And we're really going to have a very beautiful world because when you go to work with a mentality that is playful, that is not so judgmental, because you are playing under characters that are millions of years ahead sometimes. And you have to imagine in a world that doesn't exist. So it has to do a lot with acing people's intelligence because sometimes something that is parallel can be more related to the truth that is parallel from the other side, but in a more soothing version than the real one. So it's easier to grasp because the judgment carries too much pain sometimes. So kind of like when we're adults, we don't want to play, right? We become too serious. We have to play to create this role, to create this character, to create this ego, and there is only your ego. Your ego, your ego, and your ego. Very good, it works. Your ego, your ego, your ego. Your ego, our ego, my ego, and fuck woman. We all agree on that, right? All the women, really. All the women. All the women in the world are streaming hate insults. I haven't I haven't done that really. I have seen some who are middle class and are insulting nonstop and then go there like if they're special. Yeah, so, but that's their survival. No generation had a woman working and being responsible for what they do, they say. Is mediocre, but what can you do? Nobody said that everyone is coming here in this world to be perfect. You go a lot of problems already. So people judge me because I don't have a social status, and they will keep stealing from me because I don't have defenses. Yeah, come from very well educated family and a very well educated background. Uh, things happen. My husband had a car accident. Venezuela, we lost everything. 500 acres in the center of meditation. So I didn't have a traumatic childhood, but these 10 years have been traumatic. These last 10 years. Um, it has helped me to drop my own ego, even though it also hurts because you cannot work and perform as you wish, right? I mean, this shirt is Ralph Lauren and I found it, but it's not the shirt I would buy, but maybe if I was in Canada. But I'm grateful for everything that's happening, even though I feel enormous pain in my heart of understanding this slow movement that is towards and within the light. So this is a little turtle. This is a little turtle that has a candle, and that light that is just within. But it can't happen automatically for all the world. So to those who are in charge, facing facing humanity, know that you are teaming, you are making a team, yeah, that is in real life. This is just virtual reality, but in real life, you're making an example for the world at large. Yeah, you're not just tweeting or making videos or making more content or more followers. You already got it. Try to make a better world. Boundaries exists. I wanted to talk about it, but technically speaking, I cannot be sharing this because I really do have the Chinese hacking me. The Chinese think can conquer all the world with everything they steal and copy, the same way you do, and the same way you operate fighting, and the same the other one does. So the less men are fighting there, and the more you invite women to operate with mansions into villages and support also with an economic system that it gives back for villages and mansions into villages and knowing the resources. For example, all the books here are from around the world. I mean, there are more countries from around the world, and I got somewhere there 3 huge books from all the countries from around the world. And the ladies would love to get in charge with this with me. This one is Rakistan. So I just found a couple that goes around the world and they're in Rakistan now. It's beautiful. The nature it has, the resources. I mean, I love to be at home, and normally I would just be with my partner day and night, and some days I would just be alone working on my own. Mm, he would get very jealous. That's why I had to be alone, because All the month I've been with, they destroy my computer. New Macintosh. Uh-huh. 3 computers destroyed by men, from my husband, my last boyfriend, a comedian in New York, and 2 Macintosh, Pro Macintosh, and 4 this last 2 years, 3 years, stolen my other Pro Macintosh. So it would be nice. I always thought that someone could just understand without having to talk or interrupt when you are doing something. In my house, it was like this, but when you are not living with people that are educated, they don't know. They don't have that perception. It is not. It is not an impression. It's a perception of a reality. This person is reading a book. I'm not going to interrupt. This person is watching a movie. I'm not going to interrupt. This person is silently cooking, chopping wood. But I'm very eccentric. I love the sound of the woods. I want everyone out of the kitchen because I need that time where everything is synchronized in my mind doing these little things. And that silence for me is very important. The sounds, just the sounds, a notion of all these movements. So when you are talking, you pay the same attention and you give it all that you have. You use the words that are going to lead you to that because that's what you want. Yeah, I'm never going to be a socialite. I'm never going to be out there talking with anyone. All right. All my YouTube videos are closed right now because of protecting myself since I came to deal with this, because I know the people are meant to go crazy in order to cross over, because they will reject that. Yeah, they will be in denial. So when you exorcise the devil, Christians can do this because a Christian, a born Catholic especially, can go through darkness and can face darkness from dark to dark and keep with the light. Yeah. So you become one with the darkness, but keep with the light because you cannot divide it. I cannot express how important it is to understand when you are, psychologically speaking, ignoring someone and sending them to hell, or in therapy groups. Me, as a assistant of therapy for 14 years, I know very well that they're going to go through a time of, I mean, this is purposely designed. The undercover therapist, which is me, there are many techniques there to help the person cross over because they're obsessed with an idea. They're obsessed. The psychosis. Everyone has psychosis. Psychosis is a fixed idea, a fixation that was taught by the best friend of my mother, a neurologist with 3 titles of medicine. The mother of all mental illness is psychosis that diverts into depression or anxiety, right, and goes back and forth. I wish she remains alive to honor her, because most listening to her and how doctors are as well, because they're tricky. Yeah, psychologists, doctors, they're tricky. They all think to be they have the voice of God, that they are, and they're untouchable. So that's why I never wanted to be a virtual reality needs the support of the School of Psychiatry if psychologists want to immerse themselves. But if they are going to be studying others and judging them, they have to be out, but immediately, because they are going to destroy themselves, because they carry an academy that is so strong that they're afraid to lose their title. They can insult people online, but if they talk about some innovations, they could, the academics can be against them. This is going to take time to prove to yourselves. And there is so much work that is so beautiful once everyone is together to understand what this is. Just wish one person to explain this that can explain it better to computer engineers as well, because there's a part in the program. Boundaries are necessary as freedom exists. You don't run in the air, you fly in the air. So you are limited. You have limits, you have boundaries, and those boundaries what composes you. Those limits, what makes you weak. That's, I can't fly. So that's beautiful. When you have this struggling to fly, that is beautiful. That's where the artist, the creator, becomes invincible in its mind, that it can fly somewhere in the future, somewhere, but in its mind it knows it can fly, so it will create that. So you can have good pathways for psychopathy or psychosis. The many people who take well, I'm not gonna talk about what people do to create these pathways, but there are many ways, and meditation is one. Dancing, not just dancing in a nice way, also expressing yourself, your innermost, and sweating and letting go to have a healthier, longer life that is joyful. Only like that you can die joyfully. If you have lived joyfully, and sometimes you're so joyful and empty that you want to carry the pain of the world, and you want to free them. I do have my personal pain that is to be with my children, my teenagers, Alice and Zane, and to honor my first daughter, Debbie, as well, because all this work and my family, they don't know what I'm doing here, so must be hard for them. That is my beautiful daughter, my first daughter. So she has to take care of herself in Venezuela now. She left Spain and She just arrived there this month with her husband, and I'm glad because she was born with goodness. You know, she doesn't have other people can clean for her and get everything ready for her, and she can work on the dimension that she was raised in to be. In quantum mechanics and in information that relates to fantasy, there is a lot of work that I have also as well, and scientific method that relate to the moment of how you work as well with reality. So I can share all this, but for me it's very important to honor my children, to get paid. I don't want to work for free or be trashed or be insulted. Yeah. So, or be abandoned or be forgotten because it's a world of men. Yeah. So I have a lot of beauty to share. Um, I'm sorry if I'm not speaking the way you want me to speak, but we can find a way. Um, Try to not say anything that is adjective with adjectives, yeah, unless you're making a story. So the story has a relation, and you have this space or you have this space or this space. You're watching how this space is moving, and from where your extremities are moving to these spaces. Why are you pushing to these spaces? Why are you pulling and pushing to these spaces? What is happening from these spaces? And it should be automatic, just to know that you're entirely giving to a cause that is going to benefit you as well. But when you make it automatic, yeah, it can work all around the world simultaneously. You you split it by seconds. This the best of you all around the world, and they're around the world as well. They also have the right to share their best. So, mathematically speaking, from communism, capitalism, green energy, you have great scientists who have created that social composition going up in a spiral and how intermingles. So, there are themes to get to those points where we have achieved an economic system that is fluently current to those who need it most. And that is a cycle that can only happen with human interaction. All right. Um, Besides creating green energy, that we have boats and trains and ways of traveling with green energy. Get to see people getting excited to work in third world countries. People from third world countries coming to study. People that are super rich and rich getting to work with the labor class once in a while. So the labor class gets to see that they are educated people and that exists, which is good. We can learn. They don't have to know necessarily they do that once 2 years in their life or once 1 month a year. But it should be beautiful. They should know that it is part, because that's how we're gonna all grow faster. The people cannot teach each other if they're all sharing the same level of education. So it is good to have sometimes this. And also, how do you know how is it really working if you're not there in the floor? So that's what happened when working with my mother. My mother would be jealous of me sometimes because she would teach me everything. She would tell me everything. She would tell me what to do, and I would go and work in the floor with the people. I would work everything she would tell me. But then she would get jealous, and I said, "Well, but I'm the one you sent to be with the people, so the people rely on me, and that is good. So they respect you a little bit more." And she has other things to do in the phone, but it is with the that you get to understand, and they get to be understood as well. This is not just for your own business, because it's very funny how all these people think. They just think of their business, of their party, of their kingdom, of their property. So today is the 11th of 11th. Just looking at the agenda. Beautiful for the next 5 years. 2022 to 2026. And well, 11/11. Well, I haven't written here for. Well, I have next year. I have room to write there. Sometimes I overwrite because I gave the cover to my daughter who came to visit me. Beautiful cover from Japan. So she could draw more in hers because I gave it to her, and I know that when it feels special, you draw, you put more energy there. It feels special because it has a beautiful cover. So today I'm going to rearrange this and just just be receptive to what I have and get to check my stock here. I mean, every book that I have is so beautiful. I just open a page and read randomly. Some books are very easy to read. I use them for to see the pattern of how the writer is forming that style. So it helps me to dig into characters because each character is different. Um, can't wait to wake up every morning and just see my kids. It will be a dream come true. I hope everyone is happy with what they're doing, and I wish Twitter the best. And it's incredible because I can feel the collective in Twitter that many people want to be someone, and then you have see all these stars, famous people that have so many followers, and then the politicians. And wow, it's interesting to read what they share, what they share here in Britain from the Tories, because the Labour Party, those people are more online, so they are more bitter and sharing and more expressive. And the people from the Tories, they're not online. They have things to take care of, right? They're not there. So that creates a lot of turmoil, and then the press thinks that everyone thinks like that. Not everyone thinks like that. Not everyone in the world is online all day long. So it's very interesting to see. I wonder what my father would say if he would be very excited, that's for sure. Very exciting in moments. So yeah, it's very good what is happening, and everyone is paying attention, fine attention. It's gonna be so exciting to see what are they gonna do to rotate, because of course that's what people do, and they might keep doing that for their own benefit, their own company. Maybe the tech titans don't come together, but you have to see that it's getting more and more and more to what this world needs. So when you ask anyone, what would you like to do if you had $1 million, just $1 million? I would love to travel around the world. Everybody says that. Okay. So mansion into villages can help people to talk about architecture and have a lifetime project to create a mansion that fusions into a poor village. And every year that they travel, or every 3 years, because they can share on Zoom, online, and they have something as well to talk about that they're learning and sharing. So there needs to be a synergy and from virtual reality to real life, from the main tech titans and the also Huawei. I have already explained the settings. The Chinese people can be with the Huawei, but the virtual reality needs just eventually is going to melt together, because what is Chinese going, the people from China are just going to have their Chinese characters, historical, fictional, and somehow they're going to sometime, maybe another generation, when these people die, because they don't want to understand that the Chinese people also like to travel and cross over, not only with their imagination, other characters that belong to Meta, for example, but Meta doesn't belong to Mark Zuckerberg. That's where people are gonna start to be more interested for the tissue of storyline. Some universe can crossovers and some universe don't. In some universe, you can have characters that cross over from stories that can merge because they belong to the same verse, more or less. You see some elves in Harry Potter, some an orc. Some can merge So there is a lot of work to distinguish all the settings and how it operates. There is a beauty in it, and politicians can even role play better when they are interacting with each other. It's beautiful, the world of politics, when it's fair, when it's a dance. And taking it to what we want to really be, if possible. Take all these weapons away. But we have problems in our governments who support the old style of war because it's been legitimate, like being married with the same woman all your life is legitimate. Yeah, people are gonna trust you more. It's a belief system that brings tribute and value to that. Yeah, you're a good person. So, mm, like, can you see that you're dying of cancer? Cause can you see that you are suffering and judging this person because you don't have a healthy marriage? So you need to put all your hatred on someone because you're not happy with your intimacy. You know, all this that you're carrying is an empty person who is on sale. But that makes you happy? Good. That's that why are you then every day judging this other person or this other person? When you see real lovers, yeah, like real lovers, or a priest who loves God, or a nun who serves and sees God in everyone, you don't see that behavior. That behavior happens with rotten marriages. It's very peculiar to see that. I don't need to do that, but you can see it more often and often. And they will hug each other thinking that others are wrong, but at the same time, they're tired of hugging the same piece of meat who serves them, or is familiar. So, is that really love? Is that really love? Because the way you are treating others is the way you are relating in your household. That's the real anger, when the person turns back because it didn't understand you. Why did you have to explain that if you're living together for so many years? So, oh, because there's no other person to put its frustrations on. Like, it should be the last person in this world to put your frustrations on. The person you have next. The person you have next to you is the person you are to embrace and understand without even having to explain anything. So all you need is an auto moderation before you relate. But if it's an obligation, because society and your social status and your prestige and your, well, after everything you've done, so there's nothing wrong by loving. In the rules of role play, there is universal love. Yeah. There is violence and there is rules. There are rules. When you get to love, as a playful child, your friends, as a mother, as a father, as a grandfather, as a grandmother. When you get to role play as a woman, and see how you're being treated. Because, of course, not the females in science fiction are treated like that. It's funny, because in science fiction, we don't see women the way we treat them. So I don't belong to the general female of today. Yeah, I'm not a feminist, I'm not a lesbian, I'm not a gaslight queen who pretends to be anything. I am just a person that is a little more in the future. Yes, with three generations of women who have been independent and they have love. Yep. My mother and father lived together. My father had a country house. They were always friends. They help each other all the time. So they have freedom as well. They're both would say, and they look at each other when they would say that with more love for each other. If they have to pick love or freedom, they pick freedom. And that takes a lot of responsibility. And that is a couple that loves each other even more. That's something that you have to sometimes disconnect from one another. It's not all about a person. Yeah. I even forget about myself. I'm so involved with my work. I'm so involved with my mind being in silence, just getting in trance because it's like a drug, just being high. Sometimes it's kind of like I'm hiding from the world just to escape from anything that I'm seeing online. 'Cause, and I bring it with me, all that, to look at it. So nobody disturbs me. Yeah, in my own little laboratory, and I hack that. Because when I return to the world, I want to bring something better, something that is made in the hands of everyone. It's not gonna be like in their pockets there to get rotten so they prove how much money they have. No, it's gonna flow in their hands. And this is a work that is beyond oneself. Sometimes partners hook you back because it's not even about you. So, with a person that is with its ego, and then you with your ego, because you both have created an ego. This is why many monks, priests, nuns in the spiritual, the the Jedis, the Siths, the it's a path of no attachment, because you are moving into beyond yourself. Scientists too. Their poor wives have to remember what they're doing because they even forget what they're doing. Yeah, because they're going too far. Since we remember, yes, you are this person. So the greatest minds will like sometimes to keep it simple because it's too much going on. And you don't want problems in your home. That's how we lived in our home always. It's not. It's a place to celebrate and get stronger to face and nourish the world. That's how we always have been and should always be. These 10 years have been very, not the lockdown, but before, because of our own problem in Venezuela. So the world needs your cooperation that you can multiply, and the government needs you as well, and you need to multiply. These are new cybernetic laws that are international as well, and you need to teach others in the world as well. Now, one normally invests in a few platforms for multimedia, so those one has to be aware for real life. But for virtual reality, should be only one. Um, this is not about the left or the right or China or other parts of the country who are, because the multilateral is also going to create conflicting problems, nuclear problems, because they want to separate other parts. That's where explosions come. And it's very good when you take the good for you and the bad for others so they fix their problems. And then you're only there to help them. That's the. You do not need to create bad energy for anyone, really. We're moving towards that. And that needs to be corrected, just to focus with clarity, investing in this, investing in this, and investing in this, and just stop fighting and arguing because it's fashion now. But people need to create that in their fantasy world and have fun with the art of it because it's abundant, it's very rich that you don't know. You've been all making money. You're very good making um your work, your ego. All very good at that. But there is an inner world of sensibility. It is ultrasonic. It's ultra sensorial with the arts, and the arts conform the information that we share through all the arts. We're entering to the eighth art. A few of us can credit to you all that we have tested. I know you want to be the first, but there has been already a lot of experimentation. So it goes faster and stronger. Remember that you will never be able to copy anything or have any idea to copy anything from what I'm saying. I have huge boundaries. They are very defined and organized. When I am talking, I know very well that is 5,000 kilometers light far away, so you never get it until you pay. And you need to pay respect because that is part of creation. You cannot multiply if you are copying and fighting others so you are better. Yeah, you will always be better if you multiply for humanity, you will multiply for yourself. So naturally, but it needs a few heads. Each one of you have your own settings. Facebook is for family, best friends, or the strangers you meet, and is more casual. you can get to know things from around the world, but it is in Twitter where you police puts all the things that are happening, what they're doing. In YouTube as well, the news, the influencers. So to break down the quality of all of you together, and I would like to share my work to Twitter according to boundaries, because it can, I don't know, maybe it's normal for people that is chaotic, or maybe that I do not know how Twitter works really. I have my Twitter from 2011. Well, I'm not being every day there. Just sometimes. And well, very happy for Rishi Sunak. He looks so energetic, so full of life, so loved and celebrated. He has been very, well, I would say it again, very gentle. So he was raised with a lot of love and support, and you can see that. It's nice to see him laughing with the president of France, because they both marry women who had more power than them. So it was that mutual lucky gigolo husband, whatever, right? Because they made it to the top thanks to uh, having a good choice of woman. So that complicity, and they're both very handsome as well. So it's gonna take a few years for Russia to get back to, after they make a peace deal. And who is talking about this peace deal with Russia? Very sad. They're anti-America. They want Putin doesn't want to talk with Biden. So they have to create their own story. How are they going to interact? How are they gonna make all these stories? Right? I mean, it should be fun, not monologues, but stories that are to make peace and progress, that are based on bringing, just to focus on production right now, because it's no need to there is no need to kill people with hunger and laugh about them and call them names. I mean, some people do that, but until everyone is working with their own settings, how long is going to take? Is it going to take 1 more year, 2 more years, 3 more months? I'm not going to create here a dialogue because it burns my mind later. I have to be like 3 days in bed from burning so many neurons. I mean, these neurons, they collide and die, and they form new neurons as well. So there's a lot of burning to create there. And if it serves, good. But I cannot be doing this every day. Is good for people to do it on their own and find how can they belief in their creation. So, and the relation with the creation of others. Yeah. So if there is a priest or any monk from all the religions to start writing a new part of the Bible, at least for the Christian world, that how we look towards God to forgive us and speak in the same language from the times He cursed us in Babylon to make this happen. So be happy that you have the position in this theater. Be happy that you can be a good journalist, a good politician. Enjoy every little second you have. We can all be replaced, but if you know your mission well, you gotta fight for it. We have to clean our souls from our sins because we are carrying a lie, and this lie that we carry is the one that makes us fight to cover that lie. No one has problems with your lie, only you. And this goes for everyone. Yeah, that's what people do. Well, that's what people do. Eventually, in 1 year, in 10 months, people are going to be reporting, hello, I'm in Rakistan here. I don't know how to do a toilet, but my God, I really need to think about so. And then people say, hey, look at this, what this, and passing links, and maybe they do every week movies about horror or about serial killers, or they are influencers about how they dance in TikTok. But maybe they got a village in the world that, of course, they don't kill people because these are the countries that have to come down to peace, to amends. All these guns have to be given away, all this violence, but they will be inspired by looking, oh, they go to these countries because they don't kill people, they don't kill each other, they don't kidnap them. We are the problem, not the colony. Yes, we are the problem. So eventually this is going to happen. This is a huge problem because if America doesn't do it, if United States of America keeps playing games of war, all the world is going to end up against America. Yeah, and we have to pray for the United States of America so they carry the dream of new world. I have to honor United States of America because 90 90% of role players are American. Mm, they have great imagination, that's for sure. uh, I've traveled around the world. It's this formula has been created thanks to all the role players that I need to honor. They don't know the program that I got, but they can testify many plays that are part of it. So that is playing sports, having discipline, and believing that your sport is the best sport you do because that's what you do. I mean, why watch other people playing sports? Yeah, but it's better when you play yourself. And that's what it's all this about. Eventually, nobody's going to be there looking at Netflix or movies. Well, yeah, they're gonna enjoy once in a while, once a week. Yeah, they're gonna enjoy. Yeah, of course, they're going to enjoy much more doing their own. I've been submerged with million stories, enjoying other people's stories more and more, and being grateful to see that people are so creative, so much beauty and art, even in the most grotesque stories. So much beauty in there. And I won't get tired of saying it. That there is the potential. That's what makes money. And it's good to keep humble, and it's good to work with the soil. It's good to work with the earth. It's good to work with simple things. Not all of us, I see, are made to have ideas. Otherwise, it would be really crazy. I mean, why not? Then we can look to artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence um, is because we are so deficit of our own intelligence. It's like people fancy this. Only the government can stop this until there are human rights. The artificial intelligence make people look cool. Nobody has done artificial intelligence to stop children who are vulnerable for violence and abuse. I've done that, but they all reject it because most are pedophiles. What can you do? It's not convenient, right? So there's a lot of all these emotions need to be pork in virtual reality in a fantasy world so people know they're not attacking people in real life. Yeah, because in real life you need your, I mean, of course, if you got all this potential and protection, you can nourish yourself and keep fighting against others, but it shouldn't be about that, really. You can fight with much more creativity and beauty and mystery and action and poetry. To see, to imagine the woman in Ukraine feeling so poor and ugly, looking at the beautiful journalist in in the news of Europe or CNN, if they can also make themselves pretty and look like that, but they can't, you know. I can imagine that they were having a good life just a few months ago. Suddenly, all this. Suddenly, they feel inferior. For a woman, it's very important to feel beautiful. It's a conditioning. It's part of. I mean, not every woman, but it's so. And men love to look at beautiful women as well. It's a form of art as well and relation. So, and this man, they're fighting, and suddenly, just that at least they have fought for what is Ukraine. They have their country. And some people can rest and just so much to bury and honor the dead and to reconstruct and regenerate, but there is trauma there, and these stories need to keep going for the next few years. You might say they are going to be 8 years, 3 years, 8 years, 30 years, 300 years. Yeah. Or you're just going to make divide some people more rich and others more poor, and you have to copy if you want to evolve, but they don't have all the potential. The free world knows how to talk to each other. As bad as it is, it can do it. I wanted to show to the free world that not everyone is a freak, as other countries. They hate they hate the free world without knowing, without really getting to know how people really are. So it should be a beautiful, humbling experience to be honored. There's nothing wrong by feeling good and the best. It doesn't mean you have to dishonor others. You're welcoming others to be in your stage and in that state, then you're really good. Otherwise, just look at every time I speak, there is an answer. There is a gap there for you to think. There is a respect for you to direct your narrative. Because as cruel you can be to me, you're going to have to face all these people as well and reinvert the story. So I have a lot of things to do. I have never been interested in, yeah. So right now, my prayers, my love goes to reality, both virtual reality and the real life, to see my children, my three, as soon as possible and give this work away. Just trust their boundaries. So, and everything is in the settings that you can do. Bye.